Good morning, all. I hope everyone's having a good day. I just wanted to take a minute before this video starts to give you a little side note. If you'll remember the last video that I uploaded, it had a lot of changes. And that was because I had listened to the YouTube experts doing a lot of research to learn about YouTube and what I should and should not be doing. Well, that came to bite me in the butt because my previous video, the one that had all the changes, had way fewer views than my previous videos. So, to sum it up, you will see some changes on my channel, but they will not be as drastic as the last video. I am now convinced that whatever you want to do should be what you do for your YouTube channel. So that's how I'm going to proceed. I'm just going to do my thing and go from there. Cannot thank you guys enough for subscribing, for sticking with me, for liking, for sharing, for commenting. I appreciate you guys more than you will ever know. Thank you so much for sticking with me through all these trials and errors. Going forward, I will be doing pretty much my own thing with maybe a few changes. Thanks again, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Let's watch the video. So if you're wondering what my daily routine looks like, first I always have my coffee. And while I'm having my coffee, I'm usually sitting in the recliner and I'm watching a little YouTube. Watching YouTube kind of gets my creative juices going. It inspires me. Then once I'm up and moving, I make a little breakfast. Of course, nothing fancy. Then once that's done and I get the dishes done, I make up the bed and then start generally tidying up the house. That's it. Just a simple start to the day. And of course, I have to put my face on every day. So let me explain my setup here. My makeup mirror isn't tall enough for me to get a good look at everything. So I kind of use the toilet paper rolls as a riser. And it works great. I'm not going to do one of those get ready with me things because nobody wants to see this face without makeup. Trust me. But I just thought I'd quickly go through some of the items that I use, at least right now. I think everybody goes through all kinds of different makeup tools and products. So I'm just going to go through what I use on a daily basis right now. Okay, y'all, I thought I'd do a quick grocery haul. I haven't done one in a while. So I went and got some chopped spinach. I've got a recipe I'm going to use that in. Some crinkle carrots. I'm going to make some homemade chicken soup. And I need carrots for that. And I always get the crinkle kind, frozen. Got some noodles for the chicken soup. And when I make that, I'm going to tell you a trick that I use to not let these get soggy once they're cooked. Sorry, y'all, but we love chips and dip. Yum, yum. I needed some gallon-sized freezer bags. I'm going to make my own Bisquick. And I've got the flour and all that other stuff. I just did not have this. So I'm going to follow a recipe and make that. Some provolone cheese for a recipe. Extra cheddar. We always have to have extra cheddar. If we have grilled cheese, it always has to be Velveeta. I love this kind of cheese on a grilled cheese. Needed some cream cheese, some sour cream, some heavy cream. We always keep spaghetti sauce on hand. Always. You know me. I've got to have my banana peppers. Love, love, love these things. I always have to have some mushrooms on hand. And you know, I've already said these are my favorite. This soup mixed with a little mixture of milk and water. Oh my gosh, y'all. It is so good if you dress it up a little bit. Woohoo! So I got that for my lunch one day. Cream of chicken, cream of mushroom, chicken broth. I want to make some fresh chicken salad, so I had to get some sweet pickle relish. Got some potatoes for the soup and other things. Got some celery. I wanted to get some that was already chopped up, but they didn't have that, so I'll have to chop this up because I want that in my soup as well. I got some fresh asparagus. I'm going to try making an asparagus casserole. The rotisserie chicken I'm going to use for the chicken salad and for the soup and whatever else I can get out of it. Of course, I always have to have bacon. I already have some sausage in the fridge, so we're good on that. We needed some more hazelnut coffee creamer. And I think that is it, y'all. That was it for today. This little bit of groceries, y'all, was $93. Today I'm going to process this rotisserie chicken that I bought yesterday. It's been in the refrigerator overnight. And I am going to create 2 different dishes with it. Let's get our hands into it. This looks like a meaty bird. Scissors. Every kitchen needs them. Seriously? I just do not like messing with chicken. Forgive me. I just don't. A sweet little knife. Always like to sharpen my knives before I start to use them. All right, that should be good enough. I'm going to rinse it off and wipe it off because I don't want any tiny itty bitty metal shavings anywhere. All right, let's go to work. That looks good. I'm going to have to try to, the chef always has to do the taste test, so. Really good. I'm going to try to break it into smaller pieces because the dish that this is going in is going to require smaller pieces. I may have to chop it up some more. That's okay. So I want to use some white meat, some dark meat in each recipe that I'm doing today. Honestly, if this skin were crispy, there would be none of it left because I would be eating it. I love the crispy skin of a bird. I don't know if you can hear that noise in the background. That's my washing machine. Today is Linens Day. And I have a question to ask you guys. Do y'all use detergent pods? Or do you use like liquid detergent? Or do you use those sheets? Those biodegradable, good for the environment sheets. I tried those one time. I did not like them because they did not get my clothes clean. So I don't like those. But so I'm just curious. Do you guys like them? What's your favorite thing to use for your laundry? That's a weird thing to talk about when you're doing chicken, isn't it? Sorry. I can go off on a whole different tangent. Doing one thing, thinking about another. That's just how my mind works. Okay, I think that's enough for one recipe. Let's start putting some in another corner for the next recipe. Not a whole lot of meat on a wing, as you know. But why are wings so good when they're like grilled and they got a million different sauces on them? I just love chicken wings, especially when they're grilled. I like teriyaki chicken wings the best. Those are my favorite. My husband, he likes the hot teriyaki wings. I can't do the hot ones. I can't do buffalo chicken. I can't do hot teriyaki wings. I'm not going to worry about breaking these pieces up because I'm just going to chop this anyway. So, and you may be wondering what I'm going to do with the carcass. I have a plan for that too. Who came up with the idea of a rotisserie chicken? Because I'd like to thank them. It saves so much time and they're always so good. And honestly, if they're made that day when you buy one, you can't beat it. I do like the way baking a chicken or putting a chicken in the crock pot and cooking it all day. I like the way it makes your house smell. It just smells so homey and cozy. So I do like that. And I've done that many, many times. It's just for these 2 recipes, I decided, you know what, I'm just going to go for convenience and get a rotisserie chicken. I think I've got enough for each recipe. I may just put a little bit of that over there. So my chicken is now pulled apart. Now, question you may have, what am I doing with the carcass? I'm getting ready to show you. All right, I cannot stand for my hands to be greasy and yucky from meat. I think I'll just use my tongs. All right, so there's one recipe. Here is recipe number 2. Recipe number 2. All right, here's what I'm doing with the carcass and the pieces. All of this is going into a pot. That's the carcass parts. and the throwaway pieces. Gonna put 2 of these cute little chicken bouillon cubes in with the carcass. They look like little Christmas gifts. And now I'm gonna put some water in there. And I'm just putting enough water in here to barely cover it. There we go. That's all I'm going to put in there. All right, let's get that sucker to boiling. I'm going to put it on high. We're going to watch it like a hawk because I am not going to let it boil over and make a mess on my stove. I'm also going to add a little thyme. Just a dash of poultry seasoning. It has thyme in it, so I don't want too much. And I'm going to put 1 bay leaf in there. That's a tiny one, so it won't be overwhelming. And a little bit of this kicking chicken. Just a little bit. Now we're going to let that come to a boil. Turn it down. Let it simmer. Give this a stir. This is going to be really good broth. I did buy some grocery store canned broth, but I was going to make this first. If that's not enough, I'll just add the canned to it. All right. Let's let that come to a good boil, then we'll turn it down. Looking good. It is simmering nicely. It smells like heaven in here. So that's going well. Okay, y'all, it's time to drain. I'm going to do this as carefully as I can. Some butter in my pot. Let that melt. In the butter, I'm going to saute my small diced celery and onions. Some chunkier pieces of celery with some chunkier pieces of onion. Saute that till it's translucent. Okay, so we're sauteing that. I'm not going to add any seasoning yet. Okay. I'm going to throw in some frozen carrots, crinkle cut, and some frozen peas. There we go. It's already looking and smelling delicious. Now I'm going to do my best to pour the broth in here that we just strained, by the way. There we go. Oh, yeah. Get all that goodness in there. I'm so proud of myself. I did not spill any of that. Did you notice? Oh, boy, that's going to be good. Okay, there we go. I almost forgot, guys. We need some garlic in this. A teaspoon. Okay, I'm going to add some salt to my water because I'm cooking pasta. And I did put 1 little chicken bouillon cube in there. Okay, you may be wondering why I'm cooking my noodles separate from the soup. It's because when you go to store your soup, because you know you're going to have leftovers, you don't want to store your soup with your noodles. Because if you do, your noodles are going to become mushy. You always store your noodles separate from your soup so that your noodles do not get mushy. So that's why I do that. Noodles have been drained. I put them in the bottom of the bowl and then covered them with the soup. Yum, yum. So hearty. For this bowl of chicken, we're going to make chicken salad, homemade chicken salad. Kind of using my own recipe. I'm not really following anyone else's recipe. I'm going to have, of course, the chicken. Finely chopped a little bit of onion. I've already chopped up some celery. I'm going to dice very small some apple. I have some sweet pickle relish. And I have some walnuts. I'm also going to be using probably some Dijon mustard and some mayonnaise. So let's get started. Adding a little bit of lemon juice to the apples so they don't turn brown. Now I'm going to chop the chicken. I don't like it too chunky, but I don't want it like a spread either. It has to be somewhat chunky, just not, big old chunks of it. Doing it this way too, you can find the pieces that are a little more chewy and take those out while you're cutting things up. And you really do need to check for that because you don't want chewy, gristly chunks in your chicken salad. Okay, I'm going to get this chopped up and I'll be right back. Chicken chopped. I have my apples draining. I have my onions here. And here's the celery that I cut up last night. I have my sweet relish ready to go. I have my walnuts ready to go. So I've already put half the onions, most of the apple. Let's put some of this celery in here. I don't want too much, but that looks about right. Okay. All right, so let's put some salt. Put some pepper, and you know me, I like my pepper, so I'm going to be generous with the pepper because I love it. My husband loves it too, so pepper it is. Putting in about a tablespoon of the sweet pickle relish and some lemon juice and a little Dijon, about a teaspoon. Let's get the mayo in there. I know some people put sour cream or something in theirs. My husband does not like sour cream, so I'm not adding sour cream in mine. Stir this puppy up. Adding the walnuts for crunch. Now it's all ready, and I'm going to store it in the refrigerator. I wanted to share with y'all how I get rid of stuff like this mess right here. I have a garbage bowl with all the stuff that I do not want to keep in my kitchen trash can. So all of this is going into a double bag, and then all of that is going to be taken outside where it can rot away and not stink up the inside of the house. Good morning, guys. Okay, so today is Halloween, so I wanted to share a really short but kind of sweet Halloween story. This was when I was a young teen, so this was way, way back, and we aren't even going to try to remember the year. Anyway, my friends and I were trick-or-treating. We were almost down at the end of the street, and we were getting ready to go to this one house. There was a creek in between one house and then the next house, and we were going to the next house. Well, before we got to the house, we heard a group of boys that were a little ways behind us, a group of boys say, "Hey, let's get their candy." We screamed and ran to that house we were headed for, and banging on the door, and they knew we were scared, and they let us in, and we stayed there, and so after a few minutes, we went on out and did our trick or treat and whatever. Well, years later, when I was in high school, I happened to fall in love with this guy. And come to find out, he was one of the guys in that group that said, "Let's get their candy." So, believe it or not, I married him. And then we got divorced, which was stupid. We got divorced. We each married another person. We each had children with that other person. And then we divorced that other person, each of us. And now we are back together and we are in our 60s. And we love each other so much. But anyway, I wanted to tell you that little sweet Halloween story. Thanks for listening. That's going to do it for this video. Thanks for watching.